What is good, YouTube? It is your boy Anime Double Hunter, and today we'll be talking about the awesome Serpent Hashira, Iguro Obanai. We will specifically be going over his backstory as well as his noble and very clutch contributions towards the inevitable defeat of Muzan. Before we get into today's video, if you are new to Anime Double Hunter, welcome. Here on this channel we cover all sorts of awesome Demon Slayer content, backstories, ability explain videos, and more. So definitely subscribe and join the channel. Drop a like if you end up enjoying the video, and definitely hit the subscribe button for more awesome Demon Slayer content. The Entertainment District has been absolutely amazing. It will go down as one of the best anime adaptations in history. As we approach the ending of season 2, I thought it would be a cool idea to make a video explaining the backstory of the Upper Moon's 6 siblings. So definitely let me know in the comment section and drop a like if you want to see that. Anyways, enough chit chat, let us begin. Iguro was born to a corrupt family that has killed for many years in order to achieve wealth. With the money stolen, his family was able to live in mansions, eat well, and indulge in plenty of unnecessary luxury. Iguro regarded him and his family as shameless, ostentatious, and an ugly clan. So yeah, a lot of big words to describe how bad the clan he comes from. But yeah, at least he acknowledges it. Prior to him being born, his family had given birth to many girls. Before his birth, the last time a boy was born had been 370 years ago. Which is crazy. They must have thought a boy being born was cursed. Moving on, for as long as Iguro could recall, since his birth he was confined to a cell, which is crazy. While Iguro was confined to a cell, often his family members, aunts, mothers, and sisters would come over and fawn over him so much to the point it was disgusting. From a certain point of view, I understand why they would do that, considering a man hasn't been born in their clan for over 370 years, but at the same time give this man some space. All jokes aside, besides coming to fawn over our boy, they will come to bring him rich foods. But because they would bring him so much, the poor ventilation made the smell of fat suffocate him and made him nauseous. So essentially, I believe they were treating Iguro as some sort of religious sacrifice. This would make sense considering that was coming back then in Japan as well as in the Demon Slayers. Something similar also happened to our boy Arichi and his twin brother Kokoshibu. Although they weren't treated as well as Iguro, when it became their turns to become sacrifices, every night Iguro will hear a creepy sound of something massive crawling around the vents, and at night he will feel as if he was being stalked by that figure crawling around. As a result, he would be so uncomfortable he couldn't sleep. His whole body would sweat non-stop, and oftentimes he wouldn't sleep until the sound stopped. I can't imagine living like that every single day. I'm already an overthinker, sometimes leading into paranoia, but Iguro's life was a non-stop horror film every night. I mean, it's a horror manga, but to put a person through this is absolutely crazy, let alone a child. Moving on, when Iguro turned 12, they dragged him from his cell and brought him into a luxurious room. The room looked as if it were a shrine to be worshipped. Before Iguro stood was a female demon whose lower half was that of a serpent. Talk about scary. It was at that moment Iguro came to realize that it was her who would come and stalk him every night. Right at this moment, Iguro immediately began to tremble with fear. As a young Iguro stood in front of the serpent demon, she told him, "You are small, so very small. Perhaps I should wait until you are bigger." Following this, we then found out the truth that Iguro's family had actually been living off the money stolen from the victims of the serpent demon. But because the serpent demon loved feeding on newborn babies, the family had been offering babies as a sacrifice to her. I think this would explain why men were absent for so long. This is probably going to be headcanon, but I believe the serpent demon would prey on male babies, and because she found Iguro quite intriguing, she decided to let him grow before she ate him. As we are about to find out, that was the case. So back to where we left off. It was at this moment Iguro found out that because he was born with rare eyes, the serpent demon had taken an interest in him and decided to allow him to live and grow older because that would make him taste better. Talk about creepy again. She needs to be locked up for this shit. Following his encounter with the serpent demon, she decided to have Iguro live a little longer. For the meantime, she wanted the woman in the clan to cut Iguro's mouth to match hers, which was sick and horrifying. How could you do that to a little boy? The blood spilling from Iguro's mouth as he was being cut was filled into a chalice which the serpent demon drank from. At this point, I'm praying for Hashira to break in and save this boy because I can't take it. After having his mouth cut to resemble the serpent demon, Iguro was shoved straight back into his cell with the only thing running through his head: how was he possibly going to escape? Luckily, Iguro somehow managed to get a hairpin and began scratching the lattice of a cell. Each and every single day, Iguro would be paranoid that they would possibly discover that he was making an escape, and the only person he could sadly trust was a snake by the name of Kaburomaru, who strayed into the cell. After tireless planning and steady patience, Iguro finally makes his escape, and along the way, Iguro is nearly caught and killed by the serpent demon. But before that happens, finally a Hashira comes on the scene and rescues him. At the last moment, right before he was killed, Rengoku's father, Shinjiro Rengoku, who was the current Flame Hashira at the time, arrives on the scene and kills the serpent demon. Following being rescued by the Flame Hashira, he is reunited with his cousin by way of Shinjiro. Unfortunately, instead of his cousin embracing him, she blames him for everyone in the clan being killed because he ran away. She screams to Iguro, "50 people and you killed them. you were supposed to let the demon eat you as a sacrifice. And this scene was so damn sad. I'm about to state the obvious to most Demon Slayer fans, but I'll say it anyways. Iguro might be in contender for the saddest backstory in Demon Slayer. This was so damn sad and it was a very complicated situation, especially for a child. I bet you could line up 1,000 adults and ask them what they would do, and although most adults would choose the noble after sacrificing themselves so that others could live, if we're being honest, the only time we know the answer to that question is if we're put in that situation. And let's be real, most of you guys are going to try and escape. Come on, you don't need to lie. So yeah, it's not his fault, he just wanted to live. He didn't ask to be placed in that situation. Following this heartbreaking scene with his cousin, Iguro believed that his cousin's words were very wrong. However, it still hurt. We found out that Iguro did consider what could have possibly happened to his family and the others if he tried to escape, but he really wanted to live, so he chose the latter option, which was escaping. Now having a moment to take it all in, Iguro tells himself he's a member of a filthy family. He himself is corrupt, his sins are deep, so he can't live a normal life. With no other road to turn to, he decided to join a Demon Slayer corps and turn all his pain and rage on demons into a grudge of intense hatred. By risking his life and saving others, he felt as if he had some way became a better person, which in all honesty is completely wrong. From my point of view, because he was never a bad person to begin with. Unfortunately, there are some people in the world who take the blame for everything, even though sometimes things aren't even their fault, and they unfortunately carry that weight forever, as we see in Iguro's case, when even though he became a Demon Slayer who constantly risked his life for others and saved so many people, despite all that, he claims the 50 people who were killed because he escaped continue to claw and hold him back from embracing the good he's doing now, even though, again, he's never really wrong. Let me know how you guys would feel about this. Moving on, turning back to the present, after his lover Mitsuri died and he thinks to himself he wants to die defeating Muzan, and he hopes and prays that I will forgive him for his sins and cleanse his blood. And hopefully if he gets a chance to be reborn in a world without demons, then he'll let Mitsuri know how he feels. And oh my god, that backstory is so damn sad. When they animate this, a lot of people, including myself, might shed a few tears. I'll state the obvious again, Iguro has possibly the saddest backstory in all of Demon Slayer. Anyways, that wraps it up for his backstory, but as stated in the beginning of the video, we will be talking about his great contributions towards defeating Muzan because he came in real clutch. During the fight against Muzan, Iguro not only stopped the Hashira from dying and saving them multiple times, but it was his bright red blade that helped turn the other Hashira's blades red. And most of all, and although Iguro didn't take as much damage during the battles of the Infinity Castle, so as a result of that he was able to fight, nonetheless Iguro was the one that helped Tanjiro finish off Muzan. Once again coming in to save Tanjiro from being cut in half, but also getting Muzan frustrated and dealing damage to him while Tanjiro was recovering. Iguro also was a big factor in preventing Muzan from escape. It was thanks to Tanjiro and Iguro's immense efforts, as well as the many Demon Slayers who lost their lives, that allowed the defeat of Muzan. I think it's definitely safe to say Iguro was the second biggest factor as to why Muzan was defeated. Following Muzan's defeat, Iguro goes over to Mitsuri, who was also about to die. Mitsuri asks Iguro if Muzan is defeated, to which Iguro tells her all is good and they have managed to defeat him. Mitsuri tells him that she isn't feeling any pain, which means she's probably going to pass soon, to which Iguro tells her he'll be joining her because he is about to die as well. As Mitsuri is slowly dying, she begins to cry and tells Iguro to not die yet, and she apologizes for not being much use in the fight. Iguro tells her that isn't true, please not to say that. Iguro then asks her about the day they first met. Mitsuri recalls she was lost at the mansion and that he helped her. And Iguro tells her it was the other way around. She was such a normal girl that she saved him. And this is so significant considering nothing has been normal about Iguro's life. Iguro asks she got excited over the smallest things and her laughter was so beautiful it reminded him of bells ringing. He asked she must have struggled on her path towards becoming a Hashira, but she never gave any hints towards that. Iguro then asked he enjoyed talking to her, it made him feel normal, and he's sure that she made the other Hashira feel the same way. Her bottomless cheerfulness and kindness has saved so many people and she should be proud. He then adds he'll never let anyone say otherwise. Mitsuri cries tears of sadness as well as tears of joy to hear that. And she tells Iguro she cares so much about him. She then adds that meals tasted so much better with him because he looked at her with so much affection. She then asks Iguro if they were to be reborn, could she be his bride? To which Iguro says yes, of course, if you will agree to have me. And before he passes, he says to her, and this time I will make you happy and protect you so you don't die. Man, when they animate this, it's over. Gotoge knows how to really move her readers. Both Iguro and his lover Mitsuri pass, but thankfully, both their wishes are granted. As we see in chapter 205, in another life where demons don't exist, except for Yushiro, who's just chilling. In this lifetime, Iguro and Mitsuri are a married couple who run a restaurant. So it's actually nice to see that they got a happy ending in an alternative timeline. All in all, although his character was dove into pretty late, I really enjoy Iguro, and he's one of my favorite characters in Demon Slayer. And in terms of strength, he's a very underrated character and overlooked. I feel like he's up there with some of the strongest Hashiras. Now with that being said, we have reached the end of the video and I think it's time to wrap it up. That marks the end of this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Drop a like if you did. Hit the subscribe button for more awesome Demon Slayer content. Comment down below your thoughts on the awesome, tragic Serpent Hashira. And that is it. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day and let me know who you guys would like to see explained next. Peace.